It's my pleasure to introduce Anastasia Valsamaki, who is a choreographer of the piece Body Monologue. And I choose this piece for the program of the festival because I really like the purity of the solo. It's really just the body in a movement, and it's in a way very fascinating. So what fascinates you? It's my first question with this, why the poor movement is a fascination for you as a choreographer?
Well, this is a really nice question for me. I'm also a dancer, so I started getting to know dance through dancing and doing it. So it's really important for me. I believe the most important thing with the movement is that you feel it, you do it, you live it somehow. So for me, it's the most natural thing to do, move. And through dance, through movement, I believe we can find all the meanings, all the feelings that we have. It depends how each person wants to connect with it. And so, yeah, I really find it very interesting and fascinating that this kind of communication, it's not verbal, but it's so strong. It really can connect with the audience and the viewer with a more abstract way, with a more vague way. And it's art, basically. It's a different kind of communication, and this is what I love about it.
Yeah, because now even the movement seems to be like abstract, doesn't have some story. Yeah. But it really, for me, it's like you can find different moods there. You can find different dynamics. It's fragile and strong at the same time. It is silent or very expressive, or it's slow. It's a pause. There is nothing, and then it's very fast movement. So I think that's something very crucial for us as people, that we don't lose somehow connection to our body. And that's what I find as a message from your solo, that it's very important to stay in the body, to be present in the body, whatever you do. And dance is very good means for that. As you say, like it's very clear that body is very important for you because you are a dancer, and then we as a dancers feel the body in a different way. So I think, and I think, as you said, like you are a performer, but this solo is danced by Gavriela. Why was that choice? Why you don't dance it yourself?
Well, to tell you the truth, I really have it in mind in the future to create something for myself, but I don't feel ready yet. Because when I choreograph, it's somehow a different kind of process for me. So it's a process of, I don't know, my first somehow thought is the painter, that he has this canvas in front of him and his colors, and he creates something that he can also like see it, get feedback, recreate it somehow, recompose it. So when I choreograph and I'm outside, not dancing, I have this kind of really, I would say, not power, but privilege to compose and see what the dancer doesn't see. But like the dancer has his or her own way of living the performance, but we receive maybe sometimes something else. So it's really interesting, this kind of multi different worlds that they are being in the same time, the same moment.
Yes, it's really, I mean, as I remember a long time ago when I perform on stage, sometimes I had the feeling that, oh, the performance was great and the receiver was not so well received. And opposite, sometimes we as a dancer said, like, oh, it was very bad, and people just like, oh, it was very fascinating. So I think it's very important, especially when we are at the beginning of the creation. And I understood that your story as a choreographer is, you are young, so it's not so long. So I think it's very good approach. And as you said, like it's a canvas and it's like a visual. So how the visual part of the solo was important for you? The set and the lighting and everything around it.
I did this solo. This solo is my second, basically, work. So my first work with was with 9 dancers sing. So it was a different approach. Yes, and also when you have a lot of bodies, a lot of performers, you have a lot of things to consider. But there is also a big challenge when you only have one body and one performer, and how you're gonna relate this creature, this being, with only the stage and the lights and the viewers. So I chose to really focus only to the movement and the choreography. So basically the lighting and the stage, we don't have props, are really minimal, really basic, so we can focus only on what the dancer does and her journey. And my idea was to basically, I had the need to make a research somehow on movement and form, and how can these two things can somehow be more complex throughout the piece. We explored a way of resisting to the flow, resisting to this organic way of moving. And what I mean by saying organic, I'm saying that there's a natural way of a tendency. For example, I'm going to move my shoulder and then my elbow. So there is this kind of flow, a spiral way of moving in contemporary dance that we tried to resist a bit, just to see what happens. And what we built up was a kind of system of isolations, and this is why I thought the idea of a monologue as a state, because this kind of isolations on the body parts would somehow create action and reaction. So we created rhythmic patterns, or patterns with different body parts that were really kind of weird. And yes, they gave the sense of a very geometrical dance at the beginning. So we started with this, trying also to motivate the viewer to see the body in different shapes and forms, and then to see how these patterns would get more space, would be more expressive, would get bigger, more free somehow. Yeah, so it's kind of a piece that starts from a point and somehow accumulates more ideas, and gets somehow bigger and bigger.
And even though it's a body monologue, as you explain now, I got it, because I as you are using plural, be, because I think it's important that Gavriela, or what was the role of Gavriela in this process, in this exploration? And we know that in contemporary dance, the performer is very important part of the creation. So how was it that with you?
It's, for me, it's really, really important. I see the dancers as my colleagues and also as recreators. I mean, they also create the performance because they suggest a lot of things. I direct them. I give them, tasks, and of course, I'm in the position to take the decisions, but also I really respect the dancers and I really admire their work. So I really love to give them space to bring things in the process, because for me contemporary dance has this very nice openness about being in a collective way of living somehow. So also as an idea and as a position in my life, I really love to be to collaborate and not only giving what I think it will be the best. So yes, Gavriela is for sure a very important role in the process, because she creates with me the movement. I propose things.
Yeah. Do you know her for longer, or it's?
Yes. We studied together. Yes. We are also good friends. So we really had a very good connection and communication. So it was an easy way, an easy process.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as you talk about the cooperation or collaboration, which is very important for you, what are the other parts of the creation process as the music, for instance? How you choose for the music, and which role it plays for you in the piece?
Yeah, I think the music is also really important because it sets an atmosphere and gives somehow a direction of how the people can relate. Also, the music as an art form is really strong to people. I mean, we really get into it. So the music followed our process. So it wasn't first made, but with Konstantinos, he was also coming in the rehearsals, and he was also trying to somehow empower the atmosphere that we wanted to give. And basically the focus, because what I would really love was for the viewer to dig deep in the piece and follow Gavriela in her journey.
Yeah. And so the solo was created, and since then, did you have a chance, in spite of the COVID time, to present it live somewhere?
Well, yes. Now through this difficult period, we had the chance to go to Slovenia, Ljubljana, with Airwaves. So this was like a huge gift after everything. Yes, that we have been through.
I was sorry I couldn't go there. It was the time I was not. I was too busy. Yeah. So, is there anything you would like to add to the to get closer to your piece, or you want people to know about the piece?
I think the most important thing is the first thing that you mentioned. Like, people, don't be afraid to let go and just, we don't always have to have a clear meaning of everything. We can just sense some things. So we can, people can see dance, can see contemporary dance, and also choose and experiment with what kind of style he or her can relate. So just be open to this. That would be my
Because
suggestions.
as some information you sent me about the piece says like, what can a body do? And that's really infinite, and that's really good for dance, because body really can do many, many things. So
exactly.
yeah. So thank you very much for this short interview, and I hope to see you in person in Bratislava.
Yes. Thank you for having me.